I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
I knew it. I love when he does that.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
Gentlemen, in my soul, something, something, Cody Rhodes. I'm the tribal chief around here. Yeah, you see me, the tribal chief. That's right.
Time. But let me go ahead and tell you.
Shut your bitch ass up.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 496 of the Hoots Podcast. As the road to episode 500 continues, it's usually the nefarious one, the one and only brother Adam, aka Joshie Lopez, coming to you live from beautiful Orlando, Florida, my new home. Well, not technically, Winter Park is going to be my home, but I am coming to you. You guys are hearing me from the Sunshine State for the first time as a full-time Florida resident, and I've been overwhelmed this week with a lot of different emotions. A lot of it good, some sad. You're in one area your entire life, it's kind of a shock to you, Like I said many times, making this type of decision is not easy, and saying goodbye to Chicago and my family is not going to be easy. But the main reason why I decided to do this is I need something for me, and I'm excited for this next chapter of my life, and it's here. As of this recording, I just got my keys from my apartment yesterday. I'm going to be a little busy this weekend unloading things and get everything situated, but I'm here. I'm in Florida. In a lot of ways, this week has gone by really fast, but in other ways, this week has been kind of the slowest week of my life. I guess that happens when you're feeling overstimulated or just overwhelmed with a lot of things, but looking into it now, like I don't have any second thoughts or doubts. It's here now, and I talked about this for so long. So to really be in it now, it's just really a rewarding feeling, man. It really is. So I'm happy to be here. Welcome everybody. This is episode 496. Like I said, we have 4 more episodes left of Hoots Podcast before we say goodbye to this wrestling audio chapter of my career. And speaking of careers, we said goodbye to one of the Rhodes this past weekend in Washington, D.C. The one and only, never seen 17, John Cena, my Porch brother. There's a lot that I have to get off my chest on this episode this week, and I'm probably not going to be in good favor with the IWC or the wrestling media after this podcast drops, but as I'm on my way out, I really don't give a shit. I have my articles, and that's really all I need for this space. The IWC, especially this past week and weekend, just really gave me a crystal clear view as to why I'm making the right decision to end the podcast now. And I'll tell you what, man. Like we'll get to reviews and stuff like that this week in WWE, like we usually do. But we had Saturday night's main event, and I'm not gonna lie, the whole stuff with the crowd booing Triple H and everything really, really left a bad taste in my mouth. And I'm just gonna be upfront about it. Say whatever you want, man. I really don't give a fuck what your stance is on Triple H as a booker. I really don't care. I never really cared about booking on a wrestling show. It's not why I watch it. It's not why I cover it. And I'm not gonna act as if I know more than people who actually do it for a living. But the fact of the matter is, if anything that John Cena has talked about in these interviews, or any type of message he's been trying to share along to the WWE Universe this entire retirement tour, is about appreciating what you have and being in the moment. Because life goes by fast, and things do end, and things have to change, and things don't always go your way. And you have to be grateful for the good times and bad times. And instead of honoring one of the best performers in the history of this business, in the history of life as a good human being, instead of cherishing that moment in the beautiful symbolic nature of him tapping out and saying, I've had my fill, I'm done. Instead of that entire crowd in DC and the simpletons on social media and people who do shows like this and the Wrestling Observer use that to propagate whatever agenda they had towards WWE and made it about themselves. Last Saturday night was a spit in the face to John Cena. The outrage and discourse that's gone on since this past Saturday has been a spit in the face of John Cena and his legacy and the wrestling business as a whole. And honestly, as I said when we started the pod today, the outcry and the stupidity and the bullshit that I've had to read on X and on Instagram and all these different places and different shows that I've listened to this week, while trying to find the right words to summarize how I felt personally about what happened at Saturday night's main event this past Saturday. I have never had more conviction in my life right now to knowing the fact that this is the time to step away. Because what the fuck are we doing? Like, honestly, as content creators, as podcasters, or people who do talk shows with video, or live stream reactors, what are we doing? Are we too far off our britches to the fact that we can't sit and process and take wrestling at face value? And I'm not telling you to accept everything that's tossed to your direction as a consumer. If you don't like something, fine. But the whole aspect of content creation in 2025 now, going into 2026, and just the nature of my field and the space as a whole, is not even people watching the show for wrestling purpose. It's like people are watching wrestling to get themselves over. You know, they say that nobody loves a wrestler more than the wrestler itself, right? And it's kind of the same thing here. It's like, are we even watching and discussing pro wrestling, or are we talking about pro wrestling to make ourselves more than what we think we are? And things become a dick measuring contest, and people try to act like they're the smartest person in the room, and like, no matter what was going to happen this past Saturday night, whether John Cena passed out, whether Gunther won with a lariat, whether Gunther won with a powerbomb, or if John Cena were to beat Gunther with the AA, or made Gunther tap out with an SCF, nobody would have been satisfied. The same narratives would be still spewed. Alvarez and fucking Seltzer would make asses out of themselves, and Solid Monster will go on a fucking soliloquy about how he acts as if he's the smartest fucking booker in God's green earth when he's never done in his entire life. So, I'm not sorry for the fact that I don't have sympathy for my field, nor do I give a fuck how they feel about books, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. This is not a fucking sport. It's subjective. Stop taking what people say on these shows as if it's the gospel. I've said this on this podcast for the last 10 years. I don't want any of you guys to feel like you have to take my opinion and that's the way you should look at things. I try to give you a different perspective from somebody who actually covers the show without an agenda, and I try my best to apply nuance and substance to things. It would be so easy for me over the years to come on here and be like, okay, this episode of Raw sucked because of A, B, C, D. Great. I rattle off a bunch of shit, and guess what? I don't look at the bigger picture. I don't take in what the actual segment was supposed to be, and see like, do I really feel that way? Or because I have a new episode of something to drop, I need to come up with a fucking take that I don't generally believe in, and I have to act as if I watch through the lens of each week of every Raw and every SmackDown is a referendum on the entire state of the industry, and I have to live and die by all these episodes that we watch through programming. Where the fuck's the fun in that? So I really do, going into Saturday night's main event, that regardless of how that match ended with John and Gunther, somebody was getting their feelings about it. Okay, John Cena beats Gunther. Oh, here we go. Here's WWE once again trying to make a part-timer look good over a current talent. Ooh. And then Gunther wins and it's like, oh, really? We're going to have John Cena lose in his final match? Really? The guy that says never gave up? And then Jeff Jarrett, of all fucking people, him of all people, to come out there with a straight face and say that's the worst finish in the history of the business, when this motherfucker gave the green light to the reverse battle royal. The reverse battle royal, what the fuck is that? It's almost as stupid as the fucking Mimosa Mayhem match. Somebody symbolically realizing that this chapter of his life that he split nearly half of his adulthood into, he's bowing out and saying goodbye to the fans and accepting his fate and tapping out. That is an insult to John Cena's character and his gimmick and the fans that believe to his story. That's the takeaway from it. That finish is literally the worst finish in the history of professional wrestling. Is that what I'm supposed to believe? As a matter of fact, everybody in the crowd in DC, they were chanting, "Fuck you, Hunter, you fucked up," and chanting AEW. Guess what the title of this week's episode is going to be? Thank you, Hunter. Thank you, Hunter, for doing something that was right for John and listening to what he wanted to do. And it's not just me saying it. You're going to hear from the man himself later on this week in WWE. Because people don't think. They watch, they try to come up with a take that makes them look smart, and they follow the fucking flock that is the IWC echo chamber. Nobody thinks for themselves. There's no authenticity in any of these shows, and the nuanced conversations is a passe concept. There's never any substance or nuance to any of these fucking shows. I come out here, let's record a wrestling podcast, let's bitch about everything that's going on with the business for 80 to 90% of it, and then try to come up with some cheap comedy routine in between to separate the flow of the shows. That's what wrestling podcast is in 2025. And if it's not that from the fans' point of view, we have a former talent, starting a YouTube channel and doing a woe is me fucking content like David Otunga has been doing for the last 3 to 4 weeks. Or Jonathan Coachman signing up to do a podcast with Vince Russo so they can fucking bitch about how they hate Triple H in real life as if anybody gives a fuck. And then Vince Russo literally it spends his entire day creating content this is shit on Triple H for not being in the position that he's in. But he's going to do that behind the fucking paywall and then act as if his shit don't sink, yet he's working for an outlaw mud show in JCW. I'm sick of wrestling media and what it is today. It sucks. It's way oversaturated. It's lacking any nuance or substance. And honestly, you can crow and whatever and whine and bitch about how you feel about the creative in WWE in 2025, or that stupid fucking award article that came out the other day from Sports Illustrated that was so fucking stupid and fabricated and agenda-based. I'm not even going to get into that because I'm trying to be in good spirits. This is definitely one of the biggest weeks of my entire life. But I gotta tell you, man, I am so fucking sick of the WrestleMania in 2025. Do what you want with it. Because one second you're like, okay, can we acknowledge the people who are on the program each and every single week? And then when they beat your legends, oh, it's an issue. Oh, really? You're going to have Gunther beat John Cena in his last match? Oh, the crowd went to DC so they could see John Cena win. Oh, if I had the pencil, I wouldn't have done that ever. Well, guess what? You don't have the pencil, nor will you ever have the fucking pencil, so shut the fuck up. And I feel bad about this because you have good content creators like Lexi, Weezy Blonde, right? And she's putting these same Nimrods in their place during her live stream, right? And then two or three days later, she has to put out videos, not fully backtracking, but she's feeling pressure to say something because guess what? The IWC got her fucking feelings because guess what? She didn't agree with their stance and she called them out on their bullshit about how they're acting like a bunch of 5-year-olds because they didn't get the finish they want in John Cena's last match. It's ridiculous. A girl who's genuine and is actually good at her job and comes with it from a pure point of view has to feel in a way to backpedal whenever she has to put stupid marks in their place. It's embarrassing. She's good at her work. And guess what? I'm glad that she said what she said during her live stream reaction because it needed to be said. None of you guys are in the fucking boardroom. Yet you act like as if you know all the answers for why they make decisions. So, and of course, Alvarez and Meltzer were going to make it about something so they could hype up and, oh man, this is great. This is a great look for AEW. This is a great opportunity for AEW to capitalize on bad WWE PR. WWE this, WWE that. Oh, see, this is a prime example of why Tony Khan is a better booker than Triple H because he didn't embarrass Sting on his way out. Guys, and I put this tweet out the other day, but I had to say it, and I love Steve Borden, and I'm a big Steve fan, and what I'm going to say next has nothing to do with my feelings on him as a performer or him as a person. I'm a Steve fan. But the truth is, and nobody in my field has the balls to say it, the only reason why Sting had the turnout that he did in AEW was the response to the fact that he lost to Triple H at WrestleMania 31. That's it. This whole fucking thing about, oh, Sting wanted to lose, but Tony Khan and the Young Bucks convinced him, and this is a new wave of thinking, so we can honor our legends on their way out for their retirement. Go fuck yourself. Are you kidding me? The only reason why Sting was undefeated in AEW was because the IWC was pissed that he lost to Triple H at fucking WrestleMania 31. I was at that event, and guess what? Just like anything else that happens in that fucking company, it's but WWE, and guess what? We'll do something to satiate the IWC who can't think for the fucking themselves. Oh, Tony Khan did right by Sting. But now I'm supposed to believe that Triple H did wrong by John Cena this year. Oh, it's Triple H's fault that the fucking Rock and Travis Scott went into business for themselves and decided not to follow through with the plans after the Elimination Chamber. But that's all Triple H's fault, right? That Triple H went out of his way. I heard this on a podcast last week. Oh, Triple H is jealous of John Cena because he didn't get to go out the way he wanted to. So Triple H went out of the way to sabotage his retirement tour, man. I swear to God, people just say shit just to say shit now these days, and it's fucking embarrassing. It really is. And that's one of the things that I'm not gonna miss about not being in this field anymore. At least from the audio side. I'm still going to do my transcripts. That's not going anywhere anytime soon. But I'll tell you what, man. I've had it up to here with the bullshit for the IWC. Everybody has a fucking agenda. Everybody always has to make something about booking. And the fact that that was a takeaway from what was a beautiful match and a beautiful send-off for John Cena's career, the fact that we're still talking about booking and trying to pin everything on Triple H this week is fucking bullshit. Have your feelings about the heel turn, whatever, that's your opinion. I disagree with a lot of people on the whole stance that everything with the heel run was an abject failure. I disagree with that. But this space, it needs to get better, and honestly, it's doing a disjustice to wrestling fans, because that's the way people are consuming wrestling now. They're not watching it. They're watching it through binocular glasses and trying to find a way to make themselves famous on social media, or TikTok, or live stream reactions, or whatever. Everybody acts like they're fucking Roger Ebert, and everybody has the answers to everything when they don't. It's a goddamn shame that the IWC and that fucking crowd went into business for themselves on Saturday, instead of honoring that fucking man who gave his life to this fucking industry for nearly 25 years. It's bullshit, honestly. It really is. I don't know, that is the monologue this week. All week long we heard, oh, this is only Triple H's idea. He convinced John to do this. Oh, this is another example of WWE's horrible booking in 2025. Well, guess what, folks? We're heading into this week in WWE. And guess what? On the other side of this break, you're going to hear from the man himself of what happened on Saturday night. And you judge for yourself. You're listening to episode 496 of the Hoots Podcast as the road to episode 500 continues. We'll be right back with This Week in WWE. Heat. Welcome back, everybody, to the Hoots Podcast, episode 496. Don't forget, if you want to participate in episode 500, just send us an audio shout-out, an MP3 file to the Hoots Podcast at gmail.com. Don't forget, we have our Hoots Podcast. You can find it in our home, the home of the Hoots Podcast, Odyssey. So, shout out to the great folks from Odyssey for having us on their platform. We appreciate the support. You guys can follow me on X if you like, at the Hoots Podcast, Instagram at Joshie Lopez Music, and other plugs. Also, you can check out my transfer work in the results section of WrestlingHeadlines.com and my own website, ProWrestlingTranscriptions.com. Also don't forget check us out on YouTube, especially. Make sure to hit the like button and smash that subscribe button, as we're on the road to 5,000 subscribers. Right now we're at about 1,100 subscribers so far. Going really good on that front. I appreciate the support and the feedback recently for these past couple episodes. So we're closing out this bad boy very soon. 2026 is going to be here, and I think it'll probably be the second week of January when we'll have our final episode here. But I do want to say again from the bottom of my heart, thanks to each and every single one of you who've been rocking with us. Whether you are a new recent subscriber of the Hoots Podcast or been with us since the beginning, for everybody that's been part of the show, I definitely want to say thank you for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. With that being said, it's time to talk about what happened this week in WWE. There's been a lot of conjecture about what went on at Saturday night's main event. I already gave you my thoughts on the match in the beginning of the show. I want you to hear from John Cena himself. He was a guest on Cody Rhodes' What Do You Want to Talk About podcast yesterday. I got to listen to this yesterday, and I don't want to do this. I don't want to do any injustice to this, so I'm going to play the clip from John, and I'm going to let him speak for himself. And then after that, I'll give you some thoughts from Raw and SmackDown and talk about NXT. But here's John Cena on Cody Rhodes' What You Want to Talk About podcast.
These are your first remarks since retirement.
Yep.
chose to make them here at the world famous Nightmare Factory.
I love this, man. I hope you don't move. I hope you do every broadcast from here. WWID facility, by the way.
Yes.
I mean, you want to think this is the gateway drug to Orlando, which is the gateway drug playing for the Yankees, as we said.
As a gateway drug. You said you had an epiphany.
Yeah.
About what you love. Are you saying the conversation in terms of what you loved about wrestling? You're talking about, I love all these little things here and there. What is it that you found? And I mean more so, I'm sorry if this is so immediate. I think more after retirement, which is at this moment a day and a half removed.
Yep.
What do you love about it?
Well, so the epiphany was crazy, right? And it's just an example of like, let's never stop learning.
Yeah.
So this is Friday. I get this like, holy shit, I found a way to say what I'm actually feeling.
Yeah.
I was just reading through a book, and it was about the ability to have fierce conversations. And you wanna let everybody contribute, have a conversation. And if they're talking about like, the power of the pause, the silence, essentially slowing down.
Sure.
It's those moments where you do action. It's your piece of the conversation, and then you slow down to allow the arena to have their piece of the conversation. Like, holy shit, I think I can finally articulate what's up here to a Javon Evans at 21 years old.
Yeah.
Like, Javon, if I talk to you for 45 minutes, you're not going to care. But if we can talk, if you can tell what's on your mind, and I can talk to you, then maybe we both walk away having grown a little bit.
Yeah.
Just make sure you do that in your matches. You know what I'm saying? Where I don't have to say, slow down, kid, you're going too fast. That immediately puts you on the defensive. Slow down. You can't keep up, old man. It's not about that. It's you're going to feel it when you feel it, but now you get a chip on your shoulder to prove me wrong, and to prove working fast is going to work. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying, just make sure you always have a conversation with them out there. You know what I'm saying? And that happened the day before I retired. So what I love about it is like, you're learning all the time. You know? That's all.
Example. You read Heel.
Yeah.
The other is the final moment of your pro wrestling career, where you were in Gunther's submission hold. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah, there we go. 9-8. All right. And the end had come. I feel there's maybe a deeper meaning. I'm juxtaposing these photos against each other, and there's a deeper meaning to the face and the story you told with your face, which in wrestling, especially you mentioned the old timers and the legends, oh, your face, that's your money. It's not a lie at all. It's how we articulate things to the audience as a pro wrestler, even if we don't have the cameras and the trons and the walls, the great old school pantomime. That face that night in Toronto in the Elimination Chamber versus the smile to a degree that came over your face at the very end, Saturday night's main event against Gunther again. This is immediately fresh. Retirement was a day ago. What's the story of those two faces?
So, I think that matters, but I don't know how much it matters. Here's what I've learned over the years, and we've had some time to work together.
Yeah.
So I think you'll be, as I say this, you'll be able to maybe reflect on moments we've had, or moments you've had, and put some truth to it. I always attack things from what's the story? What is our why? Why are we doing this?
Yes.
You have to start out with why you're painting the picture. The unfortunate thing is, you then put your art out for the public. Yeah. And what I've learned over the years is, once you put your art out, it is no longer yours. Understood? It's not.
Yeah.
So you can ask me what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And now you look at the artist's painting, and it's like you're walking through a gallery, and the artist is right there. And I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking. But what I'm thinking matters little, because of the overwhelming conversation that the public has.
Sure.
Maybe I'll give a guideline to some folks out there, and it'll help curate their experience.
Yeah.
But just because I set out to do something, now it's try to lean into it all. The 15-month, I'm announcing my retirement. We have a year left, 18 months. Is literally a chronicle of the cycle of life. Like it is an individual towards the end of their life announcing that, hey, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
And I really thought a lot about what I've been able to be lucky enough to be a part of here. And then the change in demeanor when I kicked you in the nuts was easy. I am known for smiling in the face of adversity, sure, in the face of polarization, taking it all in stride, not taking myself too seriously. And then, you make this announcement, and then you have a 6-month pause, and then you have Jan 6 into it, where it's like, all right, we're going to have some fun, and then you have Rumble, and I come so close. Now, going into Rumble, the story is like, just happen to be here. I want to make out the year in one piece. And then I almost win. And I lose because of stupid confidence. I hit the mat, not selling, upright, and look back, and I almost had it. Yeah. So then I get an opportunity in the press conference to let people know that, like, I'm serious, I'm goal-focused, I want to win that again. I've changed my perspective. This is not a farewell handshake to a flash forward to Elimination Chamber. And this is how the business works. And I know this is forever the critical discussion outside of the confines of people who say, I want you to do this, that own the thing. They wanted to make Elimination Chamber a moment. I get it. The business is about making moments. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't always have to have a 9-month trajectory. You can understand that, like, we got a ton of eyes on tonight. Yeah. Let's do something impactful, and you as artists can run through the maze and figure it out. Yeah. So in February, they just wanted to make a moment. And they asked me to be part of it. Holy hell, what a challenge for me creatively. So the loss of that good side at all costs, and to get that, was easy to explain. And when we all talked about it, the one detail I think I thought, do whatever the fuck you guys want. Just stay on the face for longer than you think. That's one thing I said. It's gonna feel weird. Just stay. Yeah. Flash forward to the end. I envisioned something beautiful. Saturday far exceeded whatever was in my heart and soul. Yeah. So I know I'm out there one last time. They had to move the side ramps in to put more seats. And it almost was like a fire hazard to go down the ramp. Okay. You cannot fit any more. I know it's an old wrestler story, but I'm setting the stage for why I was so filled with joy. You can't fit any more people. Yeah. So going up to this event, I made sure everyone I talked to, all the podcasts I did, I'm like, hey, I know you may not think I'm going to retire. I am. I'm comfortable with that. Please just get the closure you need. So now I'm out there. They hate the guy I'm working with. The universe that cheer me, that is fucking rare. And for the last 5 minutes, everything I preach about story and drama and having a conversation with the audience, the ones I love are in the front row. I know my colleagues are watching on the monitor back there. We're just in a sleeper hole, man. Yeah. Koski brought that up. We're just in a sleeper hole. But we're having that conversation with the audience. Yeah. So as I essentially take my last breath, I have struggled. If you think of somebody, the natural causes scenario, or however we picture loss in our life, all of us have been through it. They struggle, they hang on just long enough to make sure to say goodbye to everybody that's been meaningful in their lives. And that whole day was so many unbelievably vulnerable, meaningful conversations. And then you realize I've connected with everybody I love. physically, I feel great. I think it's time to take that last breath.
Yeah.
And that's that. I hate to keep going back morbidly to obituaries, but like, this person died peacefully.
He faced death with a smile.
Yes. And knowing that, like, man, we are in a good place, we're going to be great going forward, and this is literally like the bottom of the t-shirt says, I gave everything, thank you for everything. Yeah. And in that one moment, that was that. Going peacefully. You know, so like the whole tour, the year story, for me is just the cycle of someone facing the end of their life. The struggles they go with. I got a raw deal. I want this one more time. This will make me happy. This will make me live forever.
Yeah.
And then realizing, like, oh, I've kind of been a prick and gone against my values. And having a good person, somebody you know and love, be like, man, this isn't you, dog. Let's do it the right way. Which connects to our why and helps us tell a story and have a conversation with the audience. Yeah. And then moments with colleagues that I have history with. Tributes to everybody I've shared canvas with. There's many people who's like, squeeze in one match before you gotta take it home. New competitors. So you can pass on the wisdom and knowledge. Heck, the deal in San Diego where you ran everybody who bought a ticket into the ring practically and can get as many people around that element as like, man, I only have a few more matches left to call. Can we run 27 people down so they can just at least hear the noise? And then to be honored to be in there with somebody who takes the mat as sacred. Yeah. I don't care who likes or doesn't like Gunther. Respect is a core value. And it's hard and pure, and he is all about this 20 by 20 box. And whether he does it my way, a wise man once said, just because it's the way John does it, doesn't mean it's the way it needs to be done. And I got the utmost respect for him. So that's kind of that's what the artist was thinking when painting the picture.
Right.
The audience didn't necessarily get that, and 9 times out of 10 go, you know, they don't even need to get it, but if you go in with no story, yeah, and nothing in here, you just do a fucking stunt show. Yeah. You know?
Alright, that's John Cena with Cody Rhodes. Very, very good conversation there. Let's get into some stuff here from the weekly programming before we get to our back porch Q&A session, as we should do here in the podcast at Hoots. Gunther kicking off the show just again, as days go by, since Saturday night's main event, it's just so funny how silly the fucking IWC looks after. Not only what you just heard there from John in that interview with Cody, but what we saw on Monday with Gunther. And the business goes on, man. Enjoy the ride or don't be on it. Gunther, we don't have that moment on Monday if John just passes out. Gunther was fantastic on Monday, teasing the stuff with AJ Styles. I'm all here for it. Gunther is the fucking man, and it's true, the mat is sacred. We had a couple matches that took place on Monday, some big indication type of stuff. We had Usos New Day rekindling their rivalry. It was a nice throwback type of match for myself. God knows how many Uso New Day matches I've covered over the years. Like, it's like one of those where you don't have to like look up the names of certain moves, like you can still the sequences, and it's like right in the body. It was kind of similar for me when they had like Seth Rollins fight Dolph Ziggler a gazillion times in like 2018 or something like that. There's just certain flow of matches and performers that you know what to do. Hey, so-and-so's fighting so-and-so, and this is what the match is going to be. And it was a lot of that, like, when I was covering New Japan, too, when it was like, okay, we have, for example, We'll have Okada against Naito, right? Know what it looks like. What's going to be counter spots. Okada usually doing that net breaker on the floor. Okada is the reverse net breaker. Naito has a net breaker onto the knee. So you have different rivalries and different type of match pairings. So it's like visually you can see where things are going to go, and that's nice throwback feel for myself. Selfishly covering that match on Monday. Punk's promo on Braun Breaker. I mean, what do you guys expect to say, man? The guy's the best in the world for a reason. Punk is fantastic. We got Rhea Ripley against Asuka coming up this Monday. I believe they're taping this Monday's Raw tonight in Grand Rapids, Michigan. They're doing a bunch of double tapings right now, so the town can celebrate with their families for Christmas and New Year's, which I think is pretty cool. All to the lead up of Raw on Netflix's first anniversary show on January 5th. Couple big matches already for that show. We got Braun. We got CM Punk against Braun Breaker for the World Heavyweight Championship. We got Rhea Ripley and Io taking on the Kabuki Warriors for the Women's Tag Team Championships. That's gonna be a barn burner. And also, we had the reveal of Austin Theory make his return and him helping out the division during Logan Paul's match with Rey Mysterio this past Monday night on Raw from Hershey, Pennsylvania. Never been there before. I know obviously that's the town where they came with the Hershey chocolate candy, but it has a little bit of a wrestling history to it too. If you know, you know. So I thought Raw was decent. Tonight on SmackDown, I believe we're having the NXTs against the White Six for the tag titles. That should be good. Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes are taking out DIY. We got. I hope they air that scene that they did at Drew McIntyre's house where Cody evaded. I did see that. So hopefully we get to see some of that. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for my takeaways from Raw. You know, he had the Austin Theory reveal. I wanted to work for the guy. I'm a fan of his, so it's good to see him back on TV. And I'm optimistic to see what we can see from Austin Theory going forward. So I'm here for it. Besides that, what else I wanted to mention? Oh yes, NXT. Congratulations to Thea Hale, new NXT Women's North American Champion. Survivor victory over Blake Monroe. I know there's a controversy with the finish and everything. Shit happens. Sometimes performers lose their win and, you know, changes have to be made on the fly. I thought it made the referee look stupid, to be honest with you, out of everything in that whole situation. But, you know, shit happens. It's live TV. You do what you can and adapt. So if it means Thea gets a 2-week title reign out of it, it's not really the end of the world. I enjoyed the match with Fatal Influence against Kendall Gray and Ren Sinclair, part of the Ren QCC. Kendall Gray is fighting Jason J for the NXT Championship, NXT Women's Championship at New Year's Evil. We had Ricky Saints channeling it back to his heel persona and talking some good smack to Javon Evans. I'm here for that feud, so that's gonna be some good shit. We had, what else? Oh yes, we had the main event for NXT this past week was Joe Henry against Miles Bourne, Leon Slater, and Deion Lennox. And the winner of that match was going to fight Obafemi at New Year's Evil. That is going to Leon Slater. Leon Slater won a Fatal 4-Way match. It was damn good main event. And Leon and Oba should be a lot of fun at New Year's Evil. And also we saw the return of Moose to NXT. Looks like he wants a shot at Ethan Page's NXT North American Championship. So some good vibes there from NXT. Now that I'm here in Florida, I definitely would love to have the opportunity to go to one of these events and stuff and just have a good time down there. But we'll see if I can fit it in my schedule. It's hard for me to go to wrestling events now that, like I'm covering the shows each week. But I'll try to make the best of it and see if I can attend one of these shows sooner or later. But on that note, that's pretty much it for this week in WWE. When we come back, we'll get to your questions for this week's edition of the Back Porch Q&A session right here on episode 496 of the Hoots Podcast. As the road to episode 500 continues, we'll be back right after this. All right. Welcome back, everybody, to episode 496 of the Hoots Podcast. Time to answer your questions for this week's edition of the Back Porch Q&A session right here on the podcast at Hoots. Let's do it, folks. Let's start with the X. For the good brother Chris Zaletta at XCZaletta24X on the Twitter machine. Let's see what Chris has for us this week. He says, what up, News? Here's some questions for the Q&A this week. How has Florida been since your arrival? Pretty good. It's a big contrast from low 20s, 30s with snow and sidewalks that feel like hockey rinks compared to being down here and having maybe in the mid-70s, a little bit more on the humid side. It's been good so far. I mean, the flight over here was good. I took a nap for most of it. The flight went really fast, which I appreciated. The only second part about this trip so far has been the Uber prices from the airport, like when I got here on Wednesday. But so far, so good. I want to thank the good folks at La Quinta for having me here at the hotel as I'm waiting for my stuff to get to town, which should be today or tomorrow as I'm recording this. And yeah, it's going good so far. I can't complain. I'm very excited for to get things all started with the new equipment, new internet system called Spectrum that I'm using. It's a little different environment here than it is in Chicago, so I'll get to see how this works out. I got my keys yesterday. I got to see the apartment itself. I just can't believe that I have a place that's actually all to myself now. It's just crazy. So it's been very rewarding. I'll say that. So it's been a good vibe so far. Favorite match from Saturday night's main event. I really liked the Cody Rhodes and Ola Femi match for it being a first time match. But also, I mean, it has to be John and Gunther. That match was fantastic. Who do you think should the AA be passed to from Cena? That's a good question. I mean, I think it would be somebody that it would fit their character, you know, like somebody that's strong, that could do it the way that John did it, you know, like it. Don't get me wrong, like if Carmelo Hayes dropped the attitude adjustment during the match, yeah, that'd be cool, but I don't know, it'd have to be somebody that's like really, really strong. I don't have a particular person that comes off the top of my head that can do it, but you know what? I'll throw a wild card in. Let's have Jada Parker do the attitude adjustment since she's all about attitude. Thoughts on Leon Slater being the number one contender for the NXT title? I think it's dope. Him and Ola Femi are going to have a dope match. Thoughts on Ariana turning on Santino on Impact last night? I thought it was cool. They had a little similar vibe the way it was being shot to when Stephanie turned on Vince, I believe, right? That was the Armageddon show for 1999, where she first got together with Triple H. And they've been running this angle for a while now where I guess Santino just doesn't vibe with Stax, who's Ariana's real life fiance. And they're about to get married soon. So I've liked what's going on. I mean, Ariana's been a fixture on Impact's program for a little while now, even before the partnership with NXT and TNA blew up. Like, she's been on their programming a lot, so it made a lot of sense. And I did see the clip last night, and I thought it was shot pretty well, so I thought that was cool. Did you see Cody's pod episode with Cena. Yes, I did. Thoughts on MJF's return. I thought it was good. You know, Max doesn't miss on the microphone. I'll say that. I will say that, you know, it's like I'm happy to see Max there, but we know that it's okay. He'll get a title shot and then he's gone for 2 or 3 months. Like he's just not there. He's doing all these movies now, and I'm not judging him for it, but it's like, okay, great. We got somebody that's actually interesting to watch on AEW, and then he's gone for another 2-3 months. So I hope he wins the title at World's End in Chicago, and or my bad, Hoffman Estates, Illinois, which is technically where it's at. But I'm glad he's back on TV, and the guy never misses on the microphone, so I'll say that. Who do you think should be AJ Styles and Rey Mysterio's last opponent? Gunther and Dominic Mysterio. I'll make it simple. It only makes sense for Dominic to be Rey's final opponent. And then AJ Styles, I'll go either Gunther or I'm going to go with Gunther on that one. Yeah. Last question here. Do you think this is the most dangerous version of Gunther? That's a great question, Chris. I mean, how do you find dangerous? That's the thing. Like, I think we're going to get more of the smarmy prick that we saw on Monday than, you know, because his mat work and his in-ring stuff is always dangerous, and it speaks for itself. I don't even put it over. I mean, you guys see his matches. The guy's fucking awesome at what he does. So, is this new, profound, dangerous version of Gunther? We'll have to see. But it's a good question, because how do you find most dangerous? I mean, like, if he's going to get back into programming and he has, like, a match with Dragunov again down the road, like, that'd be awesome. But I think it's a different way to define dangerous. But, like, yeah, I could see him honing in on this Legend Killer gimmick, but it's gonna be a little different than Randy Orton's. Both of them are cutting in their own way, but Randy did a lot with the running with the punt stuff. Now it's a little different with Gunther, where he takes pride and joy in ending wrestlers' careers, literally. So we're gonna see how this goes, and I'm all for it. But that's a great question, and thank you, Chris, as always, for the awesome question. Make sure to follow Chris, by the way, on X/Twitter at XZeeds, let the Twitter for X and the Twitter machine. He's a great brother of all good brothers. On that note, we're going to put a rib on the ball in this week's edition of the podcast. It's Hoots. As always, you can follow me on X at the Hoots Podcast, Instagram at Joshie Lopez Music. Please check out my transferred work in the results section of WrestlingHeadlines.com. I will be covering SmackDown tonight, my first transcript as a full-time Florida resident. Yes. So be on the lookout for that. Also, if you guys could support my new show, The Surf Files, it started already. We weren't able to do an episode this week, obviously, due to me being busy with the moving and everything. But we'll be back with it next week. Make sure to check out The Surf Files on YouTube at The Surf Files. And more importantly, check us out on TikTok. We have 3.5 million views already on TikTok on The Surf Files. If you're a fan of Bravo or Vanderpump Rules, check it out. It's a full concept project that I'm working on, and I think you guys will like it. So follow us at Surf Files, SUR Files on TikTok. Don't forget, the home for the Hoots Podcast is Odyssey, so we appreciate the support there. If you want to find the Hoots Podcast, all you do is type it up. It's free of charge. We drop these episodes every single Friday anywhere you get podcasts from. Don't forget to hit the like and smash that subscribe button on YouTube at the Hoots Podcast and help us get to 5,000 subscribers. We appreciate that. And on that note, I just want to say again, thank you all for the kind words and feedback regarding the move this week. It's been a very emotional and overwhelming week for me in a lot of good ways than bad ways. But I want to thank all of you for the kind words. It's really touched me, and it's really meant a lot to me. So I love each and every single one of you, and I'm going to try my best to make this move successful and joyous. And I'm entering this new chapter of my life, and it's here, man. I can't believe it's here already. So I love y'all. Thank you again to John Cena for an amazing career. And lastly, certainly not least, as I always say with these episodes, don't forget, be the authentic product that is yourself. Remember, nobody dictates the pace of your life but yourself and the man upstairs. Love all of you. Have a wonderful weekend. Again, if you want to participate in these in the episode 500, our final episode, make sure to send us an audio file in an MP3 file to the Hoots Podcast at gmail.com. The countdown now goes from 4 to 3 now. So this has been episode 496 of the Hoots Podcast. As the road to episode 500 continues. I love all of y'all. Have a wonderful weekend. I'm Joshie. This has been the podcast at Hoots, and we'll talk to y'all next week. Yeet.
Bye-bye, bitch.